My 9-year-old niece started calling her stepfather sir 3 months after the wedding, and when I asked her why, she looked at the door before she answered. Her name is Priya. She used to call me at random hours to tell me things that didn't matter, that her teacher's shoes squeaked, that she'd invented a new flavor of imaginary ice cream, that she'd decided clouds were just sky pillows. She called me 4 times a week. Then my brother Rohan married Sandra, and the calls stopped. He said Priya was adjusting. He said new family routines took time. He said I was welcome to visit whenever I wanted, but every time I tried, something came up on their end. I finally saw her at my parents' anniversary dinner in February. She walked in between Rohan and Sandra, holding both their hands, and when she saw me, she smiled, but she didn't run. She walked over carefully and hugged me with one arm and then stepped back. I held her hand and she let me, but her eyes moved to Sandra first. All evening I watched her. She ate what was on her plate without commenting on it, though Priya had spent her entire childhood loudly negotiating around vegetables. She sat straight in her chair. When my mother offered her a second helping of rice, she looked at Sandra before answering. Sandra gave the smallest shake of her head, and Priya said no thank you. She was 9 years old. She had once eaten an entire bowl of mashed potatoes standing at the stove because she couldn't wait for the table to be set. After dinner, I found her sitting alone on the back step, pulling at the hem of her dress. I sat beside her. I asked how school was. She said fine. I asked if she had made any new friends. She said a few. Then I asked if she was happy, and she was quiet for so long I thought she hadn't heard me. When she finally spoke, she said, I'm not supposed to talk about home stuff with people outside the family. I asked her who told her that. She didn't answer. She just looked at her shoes. I went back inside and asked Rohan privately if everything was all right with Priya. He said she was great, settling in well, that Sandra had a structured approach to parenting that had been really good for her. He said it with the calm, practiced tone of someone repeating something they had heard many times. I asked if Priya had seemed quieter to him lately. He said she was growing up. 2 weeks later, Priya called me from a number I didn't recognize. She said it was her friend's phone and she only had a few minutes. She didn't say hello. She just said, Auntie, I need to tell you something, but I don't know if I should. I told her she could tell me anything. She said Sandra had taken her phone because she called me too many times. I asked how long ago. She said 3 months, the same week as the wedding. Then she said something that made me pull over my car. She said Sandra had a rule that Priya wasn't allowed to cry at home, that if she cried, she had to go to her room and stay there until she could be calm and pleasant. She said she'd been in her room a lot lately. Her voice was so even when she said it, so careful, like she'd already learned that being even and careful was the safest way to be. The call ended before I could say much. I sat in my car for 20 minutes. I have a voice recording of it because my phone automatically records calls. I have listened to it 11 times. I have not told Rohan. He is my brother, and he loves Priya, and I believe he does not fully see what is happening inside his own home. I don't know if what Sandra is doing constitutes harm in a legal sense or only in a human one. I don't know where that line is or who decides. What I know is that my niece is 9 years old. She borrowed a phone to call me in secret. She started the call without saying hello because she didn't have time, and her first words were that she needed to tell me something, but she didn't know if she should. She called anyway. I don't know yet what I am going to do with that, but I know I cannot pretend I didn't answer.